Hey guys, it's Will Kriske. A while back I did a recording of Halsted Street, which is on the Jazz Guitar Etudes book by Greg Fishman, recorded by Mike Alamana. Let's take a listen to that and then I'll talk about inserting some licks into that and changing it up. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so once you can play that solo, a common question is, what can I do now? What do I do with it? There's lots of different ways you can work with these etudes and licks, and it's a fun musical way to practice and learn the language. So one way we can do this is to put some licks in there from the hip licks for guitar. So what we're going to do is look at a B-flat blues that I just played, and we're going to use, I'm going to look at the 2-5 section for hip licks for saxophone. So we're going to take a look at the 2-5-1 progressions. And so if you look at the blues, the jazz blues progression, you've got B flat 7, some E flat 7, then 2 measures of B flat 7. Then you got E flat 7, E diminished 7, then you got B flat 7, G7 flat 9. And then there's a sort of a turnaround. The last 4 bars, you've got C minor 7, F7, and then you have a D minor 7, G7, C minor 7, F7. So right when the C minor 7, F7 comes in, bars 9 and 10, I'm going to throw in the 2-5 from the hip licks. So the original one that you heard me, I'm going to play it slower just on the video here. So that's kind of the 2-5 section. If we look at the 2-5-1s from the hip licks for guitar, there's a C minor 7, F7 to B flat major 7 lick on number 99. And you end up on the F. So when you want to do this, if you look at the Halsted Street from Jazz Guitar Etudes, it goes like this on the G7 flat 9. So it's the C, that's a approach part of it, approach phrase, and you end up on the C. So the nice thing is I'm going to start this lick on C, so I can use that lick exactly as it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from the Halsted Street, we're going to play the whole thing up to the G7 flat 9. But one of the things you can do when you learn these phrases is to learn them in different positions. So it helps to know the notes on the fretboard. So when you're playing the tune, it's nice to end up on this 4th string, because you need to get up to, for that lick, you need to be up in this area, the 10th fret. So I can go to connect it. Now I end up on the F, and in measure 11 of the blues on Halsted Street, it's actually F. So I just connect it. So all I've done is replace the 2 bars, and it's worked out great. The beginning, the G7 approach phrase connects right to the root C, and then when I land on F, I'm on the right back in bar 11 again of the blues. So if we did the whole thing, it goes from the G7 flat 9, like that. We do that up here. Now we're into the second chorus. We can play the whole thing. So over the G7, we have that kind of thing. And instead of that, we're going to do a C minor 7, F7 from hip lick. So I'm going to use lick 106. That's kind of the first two bars, F minor 7 to B flat 7. We're going to do that down in C minor 7. So it's nice to use the chord as a guide. So that phrase is, on the guitar is pretty easy to move around. And you can use the chord as a guide. Like the C minor 7 or F, this is the F minor 7. That's kind of the way you can move things. So what I'm going to do is so then now I'm back on those last two measures. So I took instead of going from the G to the E flat over the C minor, I went. So I just jumped right into that lick right after the G. Because the lick starts on the end of 1. So it goes. So I went. Now I'm on the last two bars. And the original one was down here. So since I'm up here, I want to do something just to get back into that lick again. So you see how it ends up? It goes from D minor 7 arpeggio to the B. I want to end up on that B on the third beat. So if I'm here, I can just encircle that, and then I'm back. So if I were to do the whole thing here. So one of the most important things to work on is the connection of licks and phrases together. And Greg gives you some tips in the book, different ways. So sometimes that involves tweaking the end of the phrase to make it fit another phrase. So, you don't have to play the whole thing 100%. There can be little tweaks. So you see how I took the 2-5, and because the 1 is a major 7 and we're going into a minor 7, minor 7, I don't really want to continue that phrase on. So yeah, there's two phrases. One of the things that I've noticed is as you learn phrases, and you can learn them in one position or hopefully over time in multiple positions, but sometimes there's one nice area for a phrase. But if you learn them in different keys, when you're finishing one line, you'll sort of be in a certain area, and that'll dictate, certain phrases that are in that same area. Different, and some of them start on different chord tones and stuff like that. So hopefully that helps. Take the Blues from Halstead Street. If you don't have the book, you can check it out. I provide a link for it. And the hip licks as well. These are both originally by Greg Fishman for saxophone, and they've been recorded in guitar version as well. So I got a couple links from Amazon there. You can check that out. And it's a real musical way to learn jazz, imitating great lines and musical phrases. And some people get stuck after they learn a solo, what to do. And so there's some things you can do to consciously work on inserting phrases from the different books into a given solo. So all of a sudden the solo starts to change from its original form. And at first it's hard to hear other ideas because you're conditioned to hear that solo, and it's really hard to break away. But once you learn some other alternatives, then you've got different options that you can work with. So hopefully that helps you guys. We'll talk to you later.